Hillary Clinton lost in part because of how incredibly poorly she did with a voting group that is one of the groups that you speak for and have historically. People used to call you middle-class Joe, son of Scranton, and she got clobbered with white working-class voters. You've said that post-Nunn, you might be the only Democrat elected to the Senate that won white men. Why do you think she did so poorly with white working-class voters?
Well, first of all, I don't think as a party we spent, look, I'm really proud of what Barack and I, the president and I, were able to do in the economy. But if you notice, the last 2 years in the President's State of the Union, there's been a shift in the focus, now that we got the car out of the ditch and on the road and running, on really focusing on the real inequities that exist and still exist for working class, middle class people who are left behind. And what happened was that wasn't the central part of the campaign moving forward, in my view. Now, I said at the convention, when I introduced Hillary and praised her, I said, we don't show enough respect to that group that, in fact, has been left behind. And these are people who had good, decent jobs. My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, remember, Joe, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about your respect. And as much as we've come back, there's still a segment of people who had good, decent jobs 5, 10, 12 years ago. And they're having trouble looking their kids in the eye and saying, honey, it's going to be okay. I feel certain about where we are now. And we had to speak to those people. And, you know, globalization has not been an unalloyed asset to everybody. Some people have left behind. There's ways to deal with that. But we never got a chance to speak to it in this election. And I think we paid a price for it.
And while millions of jobs have been created since you and President Obama took office, hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs have disappeared.
Yeah.
And a lot of those voters feel that Washington, D.C. has sold them out. Do you understand why they feel that way?
Yeah, I do. Look, first of all, we brought back a lot of manufacturing jobs. Had we not rescued the automobile industry, we'd have 1 million fewer manufacturing jobs out there. But what they didn't see us focusing on, because we were just trying to keep the car from going off the cliff, was what do you do to help me deal with how fundamentally manufacturing has changed?
So you don't think Hillary Clinton said that?
She said it, but she never got a chance to say it. If you notice, and I know you know this, you're one of the most observant guys out there, not being solicitous, you can't find, I'll bet you 10% of the people can tell you that what Hillary's plan was, how she's going to provide free education. Because it got drowned out. It got drowned out by the most vicious campaign, the craziest campaign I've ever witnessed in the last, since I've been involved. You know, it's either, the bulk of the debate was about emails and or his boorish behavior.
He did say a lot that the trade deals had sold out the American people and that he was going to bring those jobs back and that he was going to fight for the American worker. That did cut through.
That cut through, but there was no detail about any